Oh man, we live, baby. We live. We lit, baby. We lit. Hey, Family Tree, let me know you're up in the building with me simply by hitting the like button down below. And if you can, be the first to actually comment in the comment section. Your comments go a long way with the whole interaction of the show. So today we're actually going into, my favorite topic, okay? My favorite topic. My favorite subject matter, full stop, is history, okay? Favorite subject matter is history. And today we're going into African history. And we're tying it in because I know a lot of my followers on here are either Muslims or Christians, and they have some invested interest in that side of the world. And I know that you guys don't get to hear this information. Never get to hear this information, but this is the type of things that I actually study and I love, and this is my personal interest. Don't mind me. We're going to be back to our regular scheduled programming where you guys get to debate each other later on. Okay, we're doing a debate later on at 9 p.m. So tune in for that one. But right now it's just a quick study session with me on my favorite topic matter. Okay, for those of you guys who already know, I already told you guys before. Let me just see my favorite topic. My audio is good. Yeah, let me know if my audio is good. Like, I actually wrote a book on this particular topic, like I don't even know, maybe eight years ago. I can't remember how long ago. It was like a long time ago, and it was called it's called Hidden: The East African Origins of Islam. Okay, that was back then. Like, it was a good one. It was a good one. It was a good run. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed like delving into and learning about that time in history. And it was pretty cool. And I thought, okay, let me actually, bring to light for some of you guys who are actually interested in this topic. Let me bring some of that information to light with you guys. And hopefully you guys can actually participate and start studying. Okay, like start studying. So I'm going to do that right now. Let me know, man. Again, like, give me some interactions. So let's just go into the description box. So it says here, Kalam studies Tommaso Tesei, the Quran's in context, highlighting Accademia's convenient ignorance of Ethiopia's importance. 2, highlighting Western scholars' historical agnosticism of the Quran's Christian connection. Highlighting the attempts of scholars to move the Quran's Ethiopian Hijazi context to the north. 4th, conduct a comparative historical analysis on the Ethiopian king of Prophet Muhammad. Yeah, buddy. So that's what we're going on today. Okay, we're literally just opening books written in academia, or we're going into primary sources such as inscriptions. We're going into primary sources such as books like Procipius, History of the Wars. We're going into, is Arabic historiographers, texts such as Ibn Isaq, Sirah, Rasul, etc., etc., etc. We're going to go into all of that information right there, right? And I hope you guys are going to be interested in it. I know you just want to be here for the debates, but sometimes learn, innit? Like, sometimes learn. Again, I know it's niche. I know not a lot of you guys are going to be interested in this topic, but I'm interested, so I'm going to talk about it because it's my channel. Okay. Later on, you guys get to have your fun, but today, right now, it's my fun. So let's go into this, and I will be sharing the link afterwards. So over here is a scholar by the name of Tommaso Tesei. Okay, I've read a lot of his articles actually. Just looking back, like I like his work, I really do. So, anyways, he's got a nice thing here. Like I would always suggest you guys, please go, just type in the name of it. It's all on the screen right now. And then just see if there's any PDFs. There should be a PDF on his educational thing. I can't remember, edu something. You should be able to find this particular article there. If not, I will link it inside of the description box, or simply email me at kalam@live.co.uk and I'll send it to you. Okay, cool. So in here, he brings up something very interesting to me that I thought, okay, cool. After reading it, I was like, yeah, let's actually discuss this. Because he brings up the shortfalling when it comes to Western academia. And I'm like, okay, cool. Sometimes I think it's just me that notices these things. Is it just me? Like, I just feel like, I don't know. It's either there's something wrong with me or there's something wrong with the whole world. One of the two, right? And then I think to myself, cool. I am not a, how can I put it? I'm not... I'm not, institutionalized in terms of the academic field, right? So maybe I'm missing something that others aren't, are like, no. And I'm like, no, bro. Like, from time you can, from time you can write a dissertation, from time you understand research methods, from time you understand literature reviews and so forth, right? Don't ever don't ever, talk down on yourself. So I said, all right, cool. And when I find other scholars saying the same thing as me or raising the same questions, I'm like, all right, cool. It's not just me. It's not just me in my mind that's just, coming up to my own conclusions. So anyways, it says here, in recent years, increasing numbers. Oh, let me actually do this, right? Let me make it bigger for you guys. It says here, in recent years, increasing number of scholars have begun to study early Islam and to read the Quran in light of their late antique context. Oh my God. Do you know what? Yeah, this right here is a major breakthrough. That right there is a major breakthrough. Because for me, as I said, I read, how I was taught to read was to read from a historical lens of, let's read every single piece of literature in its historical context. So you guys must know me by now. I love ancient Egypt. So I'll read everything from the Old Kingdom, that time period, what's going on in the Sumerians, what's going on in other part of the world. Let's figure out what's going on. I'm going to read all of Middle Egyptian, late Egyptian, Coptic period, Roman period, onwards, right? Arab period. That's how I read. So when I read like that, and then I realized that other scholars aren't actually reading like that, and I could see the blatant mistakes they're making, I'm like, okay, cool, it's my methodology. And as of late, they're in like Islamic scholarship, they're now doing that from the Western side, where they're reading in terms of, let's go to that time in history, that historical context. Let's read cross comparatively as well. And I'm like, freaking hell, finally. Yeah? Finally. Anyways, that sidebar. While this approach is promising and research is lively, there are many basic questions about which there is no scholarly consensus. This is what hurts my heart right here. Cool. It says here, for example, in what religious and political context and in what geographical area did Islam emerge? I'm like, how is there no consensus to the most basic thing, the most basic fact of history? It's like, why? Again, as I said, yeah, for me, what else do you call it? What else do you call it? You talk so much about the Byzantine Empire, you talk so much about the Sassanid Empire, but you never talk about the Ethiopian / Abyssinian / Aksumite Empire. Nobody, like, you'll hardly hear, scholars within inside of Islamic studies talking about the Abyssinian Empire. I'm like, why not? Why not? Because that would highlight to you what the religious, political, and geographical context of Islam, the early emergence of Islam, came from. Yeah, you will understand that geographically that region was part of the Ethiopian Empire. Everybody's divorcing that fact. No, we're not going to talk about that. We'll understand the religious. We know that the Ethiopian Empire was Christian. Why don't we discuss this? Like, why are we closing our eyes to this? The political context. We know who the rulers were, right? We know who the Najashi or the Negus was. We know who the Ethiopian, technically he's an emperor, but the king of the Arabian Peninsula is. Again, we're going to go into all of this later on, right? So for me, I know this because I read history and I'm not being biased. I can see who it was. Why is the rest of academia still not catching up or still pretending like they don't know? Anyways, so this was one of the points that he raised, right? And I was like, cool, that was interesting enough. That was interesting. Let me go to something else that he raised that I'm going to bring to you guys. Let's see. Is it too inwards? Okay, cool. I think I might have missed something here. Let me just make sure. I don't need to give you that. For those who want to read that, that's when it gets interested. Okay. All right. Cool. This is another point that he brings up, right? He says here, what is certain is that the significant presence in the Quran of elements closely related to previous and contemporary Christian literature implies the impact of Christianity on the Quran's cultural environment was much more substantial than the Islamic tradition acknowledges. Again, let me read that again, actually. What is certain is that the significant presence in the Quran of elements closely related to previous and contemporary Christian literature implies that the impact of Christianity on the Quran's cultural environment was much more substantial than the Islamic tradition acknowledges. Western scholars, so Islamic scholarship is not even trying to give you the credence to the Christianity, the Christian milieu that the Quran was brought up into, right? And so that's what he's saying. But now, what does it say about the Western scholars? Western scholars have often adopted a position of historical agnosticism about the Quran-Christian connection, focusing their attention on the link rather than trying to explain how it came into being. Yeah, let's discuss that. Let's discuss how the Christian connection came into being. Why? Because now you will have to go into the political status of Arabia. We'll have to go into who is ruling Arabia, right? But it seems as though they don't want to do that. Is it me that's just seeing that there is a problem here? Okay, cool. The question is part of the general issue, deeply investigated in the past few years, of the relationship between the Quran, the culture of the late antique world. Scholars have proposed two hypotheses, implicitly or less often explicitly, to explain the transmission of concepts from the late antique communities, including Christians, to the Quran's environment. Let us examine them. Get ready. Actually, let me just see what the comment section is saying, what you guys are saying. And then Bal's up in here. Was good. Rika B. Patrick on Organized Truth. Sam Quan. Yeah. All right, cool. So let's get into it then, yeah? So it says here, some scholars attempt to relocate. Imagine, this is why I say, yeah, I don't know. You tell me, comment section, let me know. You tell me if it's racism or not, if it's cultural superiority or not, or if there's some type of bias or not. Imagine what happens here. And again, I'm seeing it with I'm talking about the modern context of like modern people on YouTube. You have your, Mel from Speaker's Corner, I think it's called, okay? Jay Smith. You have all of the Orientalists, German ones, and them ones, right? Yeah, who are on the same track of this particular school of thought. Some scholars attempt to relocate, so to speak, the Quran from its traditional Hijazi environment to north, based on the assumption that the tradition has projected the origins of Islam into the Hijaz while constructing a salvation history. This view has not found favor in the academic community, and most scholars, including myself, prefer to identify the Hijaz as the cradle of the Quran's community. So it's telling you that some people want to place, right, the Quran and its environment out of the Hijaz, and let's place it further north in Syria. Let's place it further east in Iraq. Let's place it in Persia. Let's do all of these things. And I'm like, wow. Do you know what that reminds me of? Like the Egyptians never built the pyramids. No, it wasn't the Egyptians that built the pyramids. It must be the Jews. No, it must be the Europeans. No, what happened was, until they come to this new age thinking, no, I'll tell you who built the pyramids. It was the aliens who built the pyramids. Never wanting to give acknowledge the greatness of African scientists and African architects and so forth. Like why do we have to take it outside of its context? Keep it in its goddamn context. Keep it in its context. It is from the Hijaz. In fact, it's from the Ethiopian Hijaz. That's what we need to keep it. Let's keep it right there, in my humble opinion. Anyways, it says here, other scholars explain the similarities between the Quran and literary traditions, legal practices, and customs of late antique Middle Eastern communities by extending the influence of the late antique world beyond the Limes Arabicos. These scholars expand the boundaries of the late antique world to include the Arabian Peninsula and the Hijaz. According to this point of view, Muhammad's community did not borrow from, but rather shared cultural and religious concepts with other religious communities of the late antique Near East. I like that school of thought, personally. I really do. The only thing I don't like about it is they're not still giving the credit to the Ethiopians. That's all. That's all. Give credit to the Ethiopians, man. What the hell? What's going on? Scholars should welcome any attempt to deconstruct the image of the Hijaz as a remote and desolate spot at the limits of the monotheistic world. However, it is difficult to envisage the exact nature of Hijazi involvement in late antique culture with respect to Christianity. It is impossible to determine the extent to which the Hijaz was Christianized. Really? The Islamic tradition refers only sporadically to Christians who mostly appear as fleeting background actors in Muhammad's life. A well-known scholar who proposed a theory about the Syriac linguistic background of the Quran has been criticized for portraying Mecca as if it were Edessa, the major cultural center of Syriac Christianity in northern Mesopotamia. Let me just do a lighter. See, they will take it all the way to Mesopotamia, and outside, like, why are the scholars doing so much, to just remove it from where it's from? Because you know why they're doing that? Because they know. I think they already know. There's no way you're not studying history and you don't know, what was going on. You don't know who ruled over Arabia. You're come on, man. Can you stop it? Can you stop it? Anyway, today we're going to go into it. Today we're going to go into it. Okay. So that was it. That was, that was it. That was the stuff that I wanted to actually highlight from that particular study. That's just very implicit inside of the text that you just have to catch on and see. Yeah? Catch on and see. I'm going to go now and, introduce you guys to the main man of the hour. I'm going to introduce you guys to Abra. Okay. And in that, I'm actually going to go somewhere. I'm going to go to a text. Let's see. Where can I find this text? Let me see. Do I have it here? Here we go. See, one of my favorite authors, Christian Julian Robin. Okay. Again, let me just make sure I give it to you nicely. So we're going right to the beginning of the book. And it's just basically from another text, a bigger book, larger book, but it's a chapter in the bigger book. And it's right here. It's called here, The Peoples Beyond the Arabian Frontier in Late Antiquity, Recent Epigraphic Discoveries and Latest Advances. Christian Julian Robin. Love this guy. I love this guy. Do you know why I love this guy? Because he's outside of the field of Islamic studies. I think that's what it is. He studies South Arabia and Himyar. So he's not really tied into the whole Islamic study stuff where you have to be delicate and, not say certain things just in case. I don't know what it is going on in scholarship. I don't know what it is. He just tells you as it is because he's dealing with the hard evidence, the material culture that's left behind. And I love that for him. Okay. So let me just scroll down a little bit and I'm going to highlight this map real quickly. Let's see. This map here, that's on the thumbnail. This is the map that you need to see. Yeah. Because it's going to be explained in a little while. Yeah. This map right here. Do you see it? I want you to clock the map. I want you to clock the names such as Juzam or Juzam. I want you to clock the names such as Al-Hira, Kuthar, Tay, Yathrib, Ghassan, Ma'ad, Hajar, Khat, Murad. All of these names, Himyar, Kidat, sorry, but it's really Kinda. Okay, I want you to clock all of these, Mazun. I want you to clock all of these names, right? This is the whole map of technically Arabia. Yeah? Clock those names. Cool. Now let us proceed, Abby. Let us proceed. Actually, before we do proceed, let me see you guys. Let me actually look into you guys' faces and eyes. How is everybody doing today? If you're enjoying the show so far and you know you're coming here for scholastic information, academic information, unbiased information, you know you're coming to the home of the conscious community. This is Titans TV, baby. Yeah. Again, I have no dog in the fight. I'm not Muslim, I'm not Christian. So I couldn't care less, of all of that. If you want to learn to debate people, like we're going to do that later on, and then you'll have Muslims, Christians going back and forth. Today is like, what the channel is technically built off. It's built off scholarship. Everybody that we had coming in before professed to be scholars, wrote articles, had presentations to give to us, like written books, peer-reviewed information. That's what our channel was built upon initially. Then we moved into Speaker's Corner and there was a lot of religious debate. So, it is what it is. But let's get back to the roots. Let's get back to the roots, baby. Okay. So let me actually see you guys over here. Cool. Again, and if you want to get in contact with me, simply tag Titans TV, or otherwise just give me a super chat and then I will see your comments, hopefully. Okay, so again, this is the map. I'm trying to familiarize yourself with this map, right? Cool. Let's scroll down. Let's scroll down. Let's scroll down. Let's see. Okay, cool. Let's scroll down. Okay, cool. All right. Is it the beginning? Where is it? Okay. Okay, cool. Cool. I should really read this, but I don't want to be long-winded in reading everything. So we're now talking about Abraha's reign, the current state of research. Okay, cool. All right, cool. All right, let's see. It is clear that for Procipius, Abraha, who had been a slave, is an adventurer who cannot be trusted. So he's going through the sources that we know information about Abraha, apart from the material culture. What does the literary sources say? And then, of course, we've got Procipius is the first person who actually wrote about Abraha, and it's in there. And then we've got the Arabic Muslim tradition presents a different picture with many details giving to Abraha the standing of a great Arabian king, while others turn him into a presumptuous and sacrilegious king punished by God for having attacked the temple of Mecca. The positive elements are obvious of South Arabian origin. In Yemen, Abraha, whose name was included in the genealogies, was considered a legitimate king. The version of Abraha's image probably has its basis in the traditions of Mecca, transmitted by the theologians of Islam. I love the fact that, this is what scholarship does. It just tells you, these are the different, way people view this individual, depending where you're coming from. I love that. And we're going to go into the traditions and we're going to see something more in there. Okay, cool. So anyways, I really wanted to get to the fact of this. Can we get to it? Yeah. Okay, let's see the first verse. Okay, cool. Abraha congratulates himself for having reconquered Ma'ad and having expelled from it Amir, the son of King of Al-Hira, who was its governor, Khalafat. Imagine, that's where the Khalifa comes from. But anyways, the Arabic Muslim tradition has preserved the memory, blah, blah, blah. Cool. The second significant information is the list of the territories which submitted to Abraha. The king took hold of all the Arabs of Ma'ad, of Hagar, of Khat, of Tai, of Yathrib, and of Guzan. Cool. I want us to go back. I don't remember if you remember the map. Yeah? Remember the names. Yeah? If you remember the names, let's quickly go back into it. Yeah? So, of Tai, of Yathrib, of Mad, of Hagar, of Khat, of Himyar. All of this area, just look at it, all the way from up here, all the way south, all the way to the east, all the way to northeast, was underneath Abraha's control, under his power. Yet, yeah, Western scholars, you're telling me you don't know, hold on, come on. Yet, Western scholars, you're telling me you don't know the religious and political context in what geographical area did Islam emerge? You don't know. You don't know. You don't know that the Muslims, let me do this. Let me do this. You don't know that Muslim historiographers start their calendar in the year of the elephant in regards to Abraha. You don't know that. You don't know that Abraha ruled the whole of freaking Arabia. You don't know that Abraha was the king of the whole of Arabia. You don't know that Abraha was the king of Muhammad. No, you don't know these facts. For some strange reason, yeah? I'm legally blind. I'm legally blind. We don't know this, do we? We don't know that Abraha was a Christian. We don't know his monuments. We can see the Christian monuments that he left behind. The Christian inscriptions that we left behind. But so we don't know the religiousness of the country, of the empire. We don't know the political, we don't know all of these things. We don't know the geography of... Shut up, Shanice. Yeah, with your mouth, yappa. You don't know. Anyways, yeah, this is the stuff, yeah, that just irritates me for a person that knows history, yeah. But then Western scholars want to chat shit, and then obviously the Eastern scholars, they of course they're in their tradition, so they have to chat ish, right? But I just expect better from Western scholars, and that's why I have to salute people like Manfred Kropp, people like Gabriel Reynolds, people like Carlos Segovia. Who else? I know I'm missing out certain people, like Monroe Hay, like these big boy names that really pull out the information to let you know Ethiopia was a freaking superpower. Because I keep saying, if I don't say it, nobody else will tell you this. Nobody else studies history to tell you this, that it was an absolute superpower. There was no such thing as a bloody Islamic empire, whatever the case is. No, it was an Ethiopian empire. Every single one of those individuals that are caliphs or rulers of certain places in Egypt and Palestine and so forth were either of Ethiopian ancestry. Actually, they're all of Ethiopian ancestry, but you see they have a direct link back to the king of Ethiopia. Like, if we can read that in history, why do we call it something else? It doesn't make any sense to me. That's my thing. I'm going to start challenging these scholars, I need to start inviting them onto the show and start challenging them. Because I don't challenge... everybody else who comes on the show, they're not a challenge to me because you don't read. So you can't challenge me on this information. You lot are still doing apologetics and polemics. Like we're not the same. We're not the same. Trust me on that. We're not the same. Which is just jarring to me in my humbleness. I'm not humble, by the way. I'm really not. All right, cool. Yeah. Just about to say Monroe Hay. All right. Unorganized truth. Let me salute you for that. Yeah, because you know the thing. All right, cool. Anyways, all right, let's get back into this then, family. Let's get back into this. So where do I want to go now? Let's go back to the PDF. So we've laid out, okay, that the scholars don't know nothing. Cool. We've laid out that, these areas are what Abraha was in control of and running things in his day. Cool. Let's see. Okay, let's see, what's this? It can also be concluded that Abraha obtained the submission of vast territories, forming an arc in northern Arabia between the Persian Gulf and Syria. Okay, let's see. Is that what? Okay, cool. So it's telling you, I'm not okay. Let me just say it like this here, because sometimes, sometimes in it, like sometimes I don't know what, but people may not want to listen to me. But at least you have to listen to what the scholars say. If you want to debate me, you can't debate me because I'm not telling you anything off my own head. I'm telling you exactly what the primary material culture is saying and is backed up by what the scholars are saying about it. Okay? It can be concluded that Abraha obtained the submission of vast territories, forming an arc in northern Arabia between the Persian Gulf and Syria. That's a mad kingdom right there, Crazy. My guy. That Abraham made Christianity the official religion is proven. Hold on. but we don't know what religion it was. Cool. We don't know what religion. No, we do. We do. We do. That Abraham made Christianity the official religion is proven by 3 of his inscriptions, which began with an invocation of the Trinity or God and his Messiah. They are as follows. Okay, continues. Cool. Yeah, continues. These are some interesting bits here that's going to come up later on. Yeah, some interesting bits. Yeah, these are some interesting bits that's going to come up later on. Now, do you know what? Let me actually go to the real interesting bit. So we know that, you know, his religion was Christianity. He ruled the whole of Arabia. Cool. Yeah. Now, what is beautiful as well? Yeah. Let's read this. Let's read this. Because we read something like this from another scholar from Segovia. But let's read it from Robin himself, how he puts it. He says here, the Christology of Abraham presents many remarkable traits. Jesus is called Messiah. He's no longer described as the Son of God. Nonetheless, he is quite an exceptional being since he is invoked among the divine powers. This Christology corresponds to the one encountered in some trends of Judeo-Christianity, which believes in the messianic mission of Jesus, but consider him a mere mortal. Even if his birth may have had some kind of supernatural character, it is close to the one found in the Quran, which calls Jesus Al-Masih and denies his divine filiation. But implicitly acknowledges his miraculous birth by calling him Jesus, son of Mary, and not Jesus, the son of Joseph. All these details, which seems devoid of meaning when considered separately, together constitute a rather coherent picture. The Christological doctrine, which can be discerned in Abraham's inscription, whose domination extended over the whole of Arabia, is in agreement with the one of the Quran. In other words, the teachings of Muhammad have their roots in the debates that were waging amongst the Christians of Arabia and that oppose them to mainstream Christianity. So, I don't know, like, can you lot digest that information first? Let me wait for you lot to digest that. Just digest it. Digest it. Do you know what I heard right there? I didn't hear how this particular scholar put it, though. I heard it a bit differently. You know, the scholar puts it like this. What does he put it as? He says here, let me see. The Christological doctrine, which can be discerned in Abraham's inscription, whose domination extended over the whole of Arabia, is in agreement with the one of the Quran. No, I don't read it like that. I read the Quran's Christology is in agreement with Abraham's inscriptions. Let's put it, let's it's like when somebody says, yeah, the son looks like his father. No, sorry. The father looks like his son. The father looks like his son. No, the son looks like his father. That's how you should say it. Don't tell me that which came first now is in agreement with that which comes later. No, don't word it like that. I don't know. Again, like that just sounds wrong. That's incorrect wording. Say the Quran, that which came after, is in alignment with that which came first. That which is archaeological, material culture that is engraved, physical, that's there, that we can prove and we can say, yeah, that came first. The Quran came after. And the Quran is in agreement with Abraham's religion, is in alignment with Abraham's new Christianity that he was promoting along the whole of Arabia. Let's say that, please. Let's put it back in its freaking historical context. Huh? Why are we doing tiptoes and nicey-niceys? No, let's tell it how it is. Yeah? My ninja. Jeez. Hey, listen. I don't know, innit? Like, you lot, talk to me. Talk to me. Yeah? What I'm going to do right now, before I continue, yeah, I'm just going to read out some of your comments. Some of the comments. And let's just see if any of you guys do actually want to join me as well. Let's do this. Let's do this. Cool. Hey, Lady Spadia said, nothing will be hidden from Kalam. Hey, it's true, you know. It's true. I does this. Talk to me, family. And I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts, please. Yeah, remember to tag Titans TV so I can read your comments. Okay? Doom, 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 doom. All right. So let's get back into it. Now, what I wanted to do, yeah, was kind of do a little something. And this little something, yeah, was to actually read some of the Sirah literature. Because I found the Sirah literature had a lot of data points, which to me was very interesting. Because they were the earliest kernels of historical evidence that we have relating to the life of Muhammad that may possibly connect him to Abra. And I thought, this is interesting. This is real interesting. Isa, what's good, my brother? I haven't finished yet, but, you know, say hello to the family.
Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Wa alaikum salam.
Loving the show, bro. Loving the show.
All right. I know you got some stuff to drop later on, but we're going to get into it. So, all right, let me go now to the Sirah literature. Because why did I want to go into the Sirah literature? Yeah, that was it. I know exactly why I want to go into Sirah literature. There you go. Ibn Isaq. Oh, no, I'm not sharing my screen. Let's go into it. Cool. So, you know, I don't even want to just keep going back into stuff and telling you the importance of this. But anyways, this is like this is the first Sirah literature that we have at our disposal. Yeah, this is the first place you're going to find the biography of the Prophet. This is written by Ibn Isaq, and then this is the edition of Ibn Hisham. Okay. Scholars, Western scholars, we've actually done some I don't know how you go back, you redact, find where the text has been redacted, and we can recover the old Sirah from Urwah ibn Zubayr and so forth. We've got that also. But yeah, let me just go to this quickly first. Okay, this is really like the starting point. So anyways, no, it's not 148. It's not, that was the last point that I made. Sorry, give me a second. I know I've got my notes here somewhere. What do we want to do? We want to go to page 153. 153, let's go to that. Okay, cool. So this is all to do with like the Abyssinia. In Abyssinia, this is the information we want to know. You know, again, we're going to be looking at it from the African context. Too much times we're looking at things from the, I don't know, Sunni, traditionalist, Iraqis, I don't know, them people over there in the East, that context. But let's look at things from the African context. Just for once, you know, let's just tell another side of the story for once. Let the Africans have their voices being told for once. Okay. So anyways, so this is going back quite early. This is how the Negus becomes king of Abyssinia. Okay. Al-Zuri said, I told Urwah ibn al-Zubayr the tradition of Abu Bakr ibn Abdul Rahman from Salma, the Prophet's wife, and he said, do you know what he meant when he said that God took no bribe from me when he gave back my kingdom, that I should take a bribe for it? And God did not do that, what men wanted against me, so why would I do what they want against him? When I said that, I did not know. He said that Aisha told him that the father of the Negus was the king and the Negus was his only son. Anyway, there's a nice long story. a nice long story. It's very beautiful. But the main point, okay, is like we're going in here to find certain data points, okay, certain data points. So anyways, basically he's king. His father was a king, but he got killed by his brother. His brother took hold of kingship, and then afterwards, he had like 12 sons. But afterwards, he got struck by lightning supposedly and died, and they were trying to find somebody to replace him. Anyways, cool. So what they had done, okay, was they sold him. Okay, cool. So they took him to the market and sold him to a merchant for 600 dirhams. They later threw him into a boat and went off with him. But on that very evening, the autumn storm clouds massed, and his uncle went out to pray for rain beneath the massive cloud when he was struck by lightning and killed. The Abyssinians hastened in fear to his sons, and lo, he was a begetter of fools. He had not a son who was any good at all. The situation of the Abyssinians became very unsettled, and when they feared the pressure of events, they said to one another, "Know by God that your king, the only one who can put us to rights, is the one you sold this morning. And if you care about your country, go after him now." So they went out in search of him and the man to whom they had sold him until they overtook him and took the negus from him. They then brought him home, put the crown on his head, made him sit on the throne, and proclaimed him king. Cool. The merchant to whom they had sold him came and said, "Either you give me my money or I shall tell him about you." They said, "We will not give you a penny." He said, "In that case, by God, I will speak to him." Threats upon threats. They said, "Well, there is so." He came and stood before him and said, "O king, I brought a young slave from people in the market for 600 dirhams. They gave me my slave and they took my money. Yet when I had gone off with my slave, they overtook me and seized my slave and kept my money." The negus said, "You must either give him his money back or let the young man place his hand in his and let him take him where he wishes." They replied, "No, but we will give him his money." For this reason, he said the words in question. This was the first thing that was reported about his fairness in his religion and in his justice in judgment. Okay, and then Aisha says that when the negus died, it used to be said that a light was constantly seen over his grave. Cool. So the interesting data point in that whole story right there, right, is that he was sold into slavery. That's the interesting data point right there. Because that data point helps us to look through the historical records, non-Islamic historical records, and even Islamic records to find, can we find anybody like that? Can we find anybody like that? And the answer is, we did. We literally, I had just read it. Hold on one second. We had previously read it in this article. Let's see. In this article, we had read it about a particular king, which is quite interesting to me. Nope, we've gone too far. Here we go. There we go. Okay, cool. We read it in Procipius accounts. It is clear that of Procipius, Abra, who had been a slave, is an adventurer who cannot be trusted. So, an Abyssinian king, Christian king, who was sold into slavery, but became a king again, is an account in Procipius. Is literally an account in Procipius. This book here, Procipius. It's an account in there. Let me see if I can just let's just get the actual. Let's see if I can bring it up. Abra. Oh my God! I just butchered that. Sorry, no, don't. Abram. Come on. I was going to show you the actual quote in there. I don't know if it will give it to me quickly enough. Come on. Nah, It's not going to give it to me. But anyway, it's in there basically that he was a slave, etc. I thought that was a very interesting point. That was a very interesting point that is written in there. That's corresponding with, there it is. Cool. Okay, there we go. Now, this Abramus was a Christian, but a slave of a Roman citizen who was engaged in the business of shipping in the city of Adulis in Ethiopia. Cool. So, this person, this same king, Abra, was a Christian who's a king, but became a slave of a Roman citizen who was engaged in business of shipping in the city of Adulis. Wow, that's a striking similarity. That's very interesting. I don't know. I don't know if we should take much note of it or not, but that's something that was very interesting to me. Cool. Then let's go back into it. Let's see. Come on. I've got too many tabs open right now. Cool. But you know what? I found another interesting point in here. There was a revolt against the Negus. There's another point right here. Jafar ibn Muhammad told me on the authority of his father that the Abyssinians assembled and said to the Negus, "You have left our religion." Oh. So there's some type of inside of the Abyssinians, there was this discussion of leaving one's religion. Okay, cool. And they revolted against him. Okay. So he sent to Jafar and his companions and prepared ships for them, saying, "Embark in these and be ready. If I am defeated, go where you please. If I am victorious, then stay where you are." Okay. Cool. Let's go. Then he took papers and wrote. This is where you get the the fantastic Islamic narratives coming in. He testifies there is no God but Allah, and that Muhammad is his slave and apostle. And he testifies that Jesus, the son of Mary, is his slave. He is apostle, his spirit and his word, which he cast into Mary. Then he put it in his gown near the right shoulder and went out to the Abyssinians who were drawn up in array to meet him. He said, "O people, have I not the best claim among you?" "Oh, certainly," they said. "And what do you think of my life among you?" "Excellent." "Then what is your trouble? You have forsaken our religion and assert that Jesus is a slave." "Then what do you say about Jesus?" "We say that he is the Son of God." The Negus put his hand on his breast over his gown, signifying he testifies that Jesus, the son of Mary, was no more than this. By this, he meant what he had written, but they were content and went away. News of this reached the prophet, and when the Negus died, he prayed over him and begged that his sins might be forgiven. Interesting. So, there seems to be a group of Abyssinians, on one hand, and the Negus and his party on the other hand, or the Negus, let's just say the Negus for now. And there was a Christological heresy that has taken place, because one's calling another an apostate for leaving their religion because you have a different Christological understanding. Saying that, oh, you just think that, Christ is just, a creature, a slave, just a normal human being, But no, he testifies more to that. And the word of son is being used. That was like the key differentiator. Son. This is quite interesting. Why? Because we find in Abraham's inscriptions, right? We find in Abraham's inscriptions, I know I brought this up earlier on, the last time in the Quran, is it? Yeah, there we go. We find in Abraham's inscriptions, look, the previous Ethiopians was using Rahman and his son Christ, Rahman and his son. But what does Abraham do? His Christology is a bit different. He doesn't use the son. He used Rahman and his Messiah. Is that another touch point? Is that another data point to suggest that this particular king that you're talking about could be one and the same Abraha. Is this Negus who is with Muhammad in his religion, are they one and the same? That's my question to you guys, actually. Because so far, the data points are pointing in that direction. There's other stuff as well. There is, you can see that there was a war that took place and so forth. And, you can go into the inscriptions and to see that there was a quelling of certain tribes and so forth. So we can see that there's various touch points to this unnamed Ethiopian king that was with Muhammad in his religion. Or should we say that Muhammad was with him in his religion? That's how we should really look at it. Because it's the king that has the power overall, right? This is very interesting. This is very, very interesting. Because we still haven't even got into Jahiz, which I can't be bothered right now. I just want this to be a quick show. We still haven't got into other information. Let me think. Let me just show you some other information, actually. Let me just show you the buddy-buddiness that this family of Abrahas had with Muhammad and his family. Let's quickly do this. Okay. Cool. Let me see if I can grab it. Where are we? Come on. I already brought this up before. Abraham originated the slave of a merchant of Adulis, took positions with Hellenes. I wanted to show you something. Where is it? Okay, cool. Yeah. Maybe I can't show it to you. Never mind. Here it is. Okay, cool. Another one. Let me just show you something else, which is quite interesting. You can literally find this in Ibn Mansur's Lisan al-Arabiya, inside of the dictionary itself. Like, you could literally go into the dictionary and you can find this. A nephew of Al-Ashram named Yaksum, this is another name for Abra, is said to have given the Prophet some kind of weapons as gift. And then basically it's a sword. Yeah, just a sword. But it's quite interesting that we find littered throughout the whole of our Arabic sources that this Abraha was around during the time of Muhammad, that this Abraha and his family used to give the Prophet gifts. We find that the king used to give Prophet Muhammad a ring, a signet ring to wear, black socks to rock, stick to hold, all these things, We even find throughout the Arabic sources that this particular king acted. This is quite interesting, actually. Can I say this? I don't know. This is quite interesting. This is a little side note. He acted as the father of Muhammad. What do I mean by that? Muhammad got married in Ethiopia. Does anybody know this? Anybody know the story? No? Cool. Anyways, Muhammad got married in Ethiopia. And the particular king, Ethiopian king, set the mar or the dowry at 400 dirhams, like gave her that amount of money, which is quite interesting because Muhammad wasn't physically there supposedly, but the king was the one who paid for her dowry. Interesting story, by the way, just a very interesting story. And again, this is what brings me back to the point, right? We have all of this Ethiopian connection to do with Muhammad, the Quran, and early proto-Muslims or proto-Islam. But none of these Western Islamic scholars can see this. To me, it's a conspiracy. But anyways, I'm going to stop now. I want to open it up and let's talk. Let's have a discussion. Isa, talk to me, King.
Yes, my brother.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been hearing me say that the Islam of the Quran is a meeting between the Islam of Kemet and the Islam of Kush. So they come together. So Musa's one is the Kemet, right? That's what I'm saying, Hebrew Israelites. And a bit of Kush as well, but mainly Kemet, because that was the culture that they were used to, etc. The one in which Ishmael went to was in Arabia, which even in the time he went there, the Cushites were ruling Arabia at that time of Ishmael, right?
Mm-hmm.
When Moses went to Jethro, his sister Miriam and his brother Aaron, but mainly Miriam, complained about his wife, who was the daughter of Jethro, a direct descendant of Ishmael. What was it they said about her? What did they call her? He's married a what?
No, an Ethiopian black woman.
Exactly. A Cushite woman, an Ethiopian. Why is it that the descendants of Ishmael are continuously associated as being Cushites and Ethiopians? Do you see what I'm saying? So this thing here is, if you look at it, when you get to the Zanj rebellion part, this is where you have all of these changes to everything is basically white except for Bilal and a few others. So you push Bilal as the black. You notice how they always put the black Abyssinian slave. Always have to state the color. Salman al-Farisi was also a slave, right? A Persian slave. But they don't say, well, he was white. He might even have been black, but who knows, right? But still they say, Salman al-Farisi was a slave. They don't emphasize his complexion. After this, I don't know if you know, after the Zanj rebellion, the different rules they decided to come up with so that this didn't happen again. And imagine if they're ruling with religion, because it's not secular, then they're going to make sure they penetrate every aspect of it to twist it here and there. And then you find these fatwas that say whoever says Prophet Muhammad was black, according to this stinking Kafir so-called scholar, he said should be killed. So imagine something as serious as that. But back to what you're saying about Abra and the origins. It would appear that there's a few, ultimately the Ethiopian is the arc rainbow over it all. But I would suggest that there's others. There's a Syriac, there's the Essenes, the Ebionites, all of that line as well. So for instance, if they're referring to, let's say, the Messiah as opposed to son, you would also find other Dead Sea Scroll type people also not believing in, like Nazarenes as well, not believing in a Trinitarian doctrine the same way. But obviously, if you've got 2 or 3 lines saying the same thing, and they're all matching, so you've got one from Ethiopia, you've got one from the Hebrews that are in the Dead Sea area or even in Arabia, etc., then obviously you can say, well, this was, a major fertile set of ideas that would come to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. But again, obviously it's something which there's, for most of this information that we have to be written down 200 years after Prophet Muhammad, there's clearly been some sort of whitewashing, we could call it, or Paleanization of the black origins. So, and then they push that to try and, as you're saying, disconnect from the Kushite origins, I would say. But yeah, good show, my brother.
Love. Oh, man. I can. What are you telling me, my brother?
You saying you're good, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Good show, man. Mad information still. Yeah. One of the books you brought up the other day, I brought it,
Is it?
The Quranic Jesus one, that's on the way.
Sick.
But the other one you put up, that rabbinic whatever, with the Yemen inscription, I got it now still.
Sick. Okay. I love that.
Man,
this
gotta
is
keep
what I'm
up,
talking
you get
about.
me?
Yeah. And again, Family Tree, if you want the PDF copies of all these books, right? Simply email me, Kalam, Kalam, @live.co.uk. Right? Some of you guys have already emailed me and I've sent you over the copies of these books. Okay. That's all you got to do. And again, what I would love to do actually is create a membership community group where we can actually delve into this on a weekly basis and have all of the resources. So you can see all of the reading materials that I read. I can stuff that I've paid for that you have to, download behind, Accademia and so forth. I've got them. So if you want them, I will just put them up into the community and so forth. But that's only to people who actually want to learn this specific realm of information. I will do it, but it's going to come at a cost. I'll be real with you. I'm not going to do it for free. Okay, because it's a lot of money that goes into it, a lot of time that has to go into it. So if you guys are actually interested in something like that, we can create something outside of Titans TV, because on Titans TV, technically speaking, all I want to do is interview people, makes my life easier, moderate debates, makes my life easier, and moderate discussions, because that makes my life easier. Having to, how can I put it, create shows, it's a lot of work, because there's a lot of books, articles, and journals that one has to read. There's a lot of planning and preparation that goes into it, and I can't bother to do that. Like that's long. But if we wanted to do it, we can do it as a paid community, and then it can work out that way. But anyways, family tree. Yeah, let me see. What else do I want to go into? Is there anything exciting that I can actually go into right now with you guys? You need to bring me back on. Is that the real Enki? Is that the real mad scientist Enki? Jeez, American Enki up in the building. What's good, family tree? Long time no see. Okay, yeah. Let's see. Is there any information I want to go into? Let me just double check quickly. Yeah, I want to talk about this though. I want to talk about Abra a bit more. I think Abra is such a very crucial figure in the birth and rise of Islam. Okay, because as Muslims on the panel, I want to know if King Abraham, commissioned Muhammad to be a prophet, would you have a problem with that? That's the question. If he commissioned him to be a preacher in Arabia as well, would you have a problem with that? Would you have a problem if this was a whole initiative based upon his new founded Arab state to create a cohesive state for his, cohesive religion for his country? Would you have a problem with that? That's my next question. Anybody who wants to open up their mic, please answer. Try. Nobody wants to answer that question. That one there was a bit too spicy for people. Okay. That was a question to you, That was Isaq, Akan, no? Oh, you lot are speaking, but I can't hear you. Are you speaking? It looks like you're speaking. Give me a second. Because I can't hear you. Can I get you to talk? Okay, you both speak. It looks like you're both speaking, but I can't hear any of you guys. All right, do me a favor. Go out and come back in again. In fact, you know what? Let me refresh as well. Let me refresh. Let me see if these guys are back. For some reason, I can't hear them. Because that one there is a spicy question, I guess I'm going to have to post the link back in. If you're watching on YouTube. Oh, no, you're back. Yo, say something, Isa. Still not saying anything. I can? Yeah, it's not coming through for me. I don't know. Something's gone wrong. But anyways, can anybody hear them on YouTube? YouTube world, can you not hear them? I guess it's just my stuff, All right. Yeah. All right, cool. I can't hear them anyway. I can't hear you guys, and I guess it's my system that's messing up. So I'm not even going to try to. No, yeah, it's cool. That's an old one. All right. So yeah, family, I don't want to spend longer because we do have a show later on. I think it's at 9 p.m., which is in the next, hour and 40 minutes. We've got another show. It is entitled, I believe, Did Muhammad Exist? Robert Spencer put forward this question. He put forward the question, did Muhammad exist? I would love for my Muslims to actually start reading scholarly books, and don't just come with your nonsense. Like, books like this, In the Shadow of the Sword by Tom Holland. I think in there you get some good information. Some real good information that would kind of confront the ideas of Robert Spencer, if Muhammad existed or not. But let's see what information you come with. If you start coming with hadith, oh man, it's going to be long for you, It's going to be very, very long for you. So let's see what you're going to come with, what evidence, what sources you're going to bring to prove the existence of Muhammad. I can't wait for it. Okay. Another book, another great book just for you guys right now to read. There you go. Boom. Muhammad and the Empires of Faith, The Making of the Prophet of Islam by Sean W. Anthony. I actually like him, He's a good guy. Okay, cool. But no, he belongs to the traditionalist school as well, Him and Fred Donor. But at the same time, scholars come with good information regardless of it. But anyways, that was it. We got that done. Anything else? What else would I want to give to you guys about Abra? Just real quickly. Ethiopian king who was a Christian who ruled the whole of Arabia. We've got that information down. He ruled during the time of, the supposed life of Prophet Muhammad. He could have been that Ethiopian king that's written about with inside of Arabic historiographers' books, such as the Sirat, such as the letters of Urwah, such as the Maghazi literature, etc. So those could be the individuals. That could be the individual itself. That's cool. That could be the individuals themselves. So we've got that down. What else do I need to know? He was the king. He ruled. He had his own religion, which is it's not really. It was his own. It was new to the Arabian Peninsula, so let's call it his new religion, which was a mixture of Syriac. You can see that he had a strong Syriac influence in his doctrine. Cool, we can recognize that. We can see that his new religion found its way in the Quran itself. So we know that information. But the question is though, was Muhammad and the rest of them part of his project to bring about Christianity in the region? See, we haven't even gone into the four Hanifs yet, Like I remember talking about this a long time ago, the secret societies that was created, and I got new information to show that all of them are Ethiopians as well. That's another problem. That's our next problem, right there. Then we've got the whole, the Ibn Kathir stuff and the other Sirah literature that shows that this Ethiopian king, there was a conspiracy. There was another secret society that was created amongst them for a prophet to be raised up. There's a lot of stuff, that we haven't even gone into, but I don't think we should even go into. I think this is the basic information that I want to get out there. I want to get out the king and the country. As J. Smith says, the man, the book, the place. 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 I want to get the king, the country, and the empire. The king, the country, the empire. The king, the country, the empire. Let's do that. Let's get that into people's head. Who was the king during the time of Prophet Muhammad? Abra. What was the country? Yeah? What was it? What was the empire? It was the Ethiopian Empire. Jeez. Where did the king rule? What was his country? What was the landmass that he ruled over? The whole of Arabia. The Ethiopian Arabia. That's how we should be speaking. Like, I think that's my message that I want to get out to everybody. Let's get out the Ethiopian, let's get out the talk about the Ethiopian Arabia. Let's get out the talk of the Christian Ethiopian Arabia. I can hear you guys now.
Huh?
Yeah, I can hear you guys now.
Can you hear?
Yeah.
Oh, you need a man talking to ourselves, bro.
Now I can hear you. But hold on, let me finish with my roundup, innit? Alonzo Harris says he didn't rule over the whole of Arabia. I don't know, fam. I literally pulled up the information that I'm not saying. Again, I'm unbiased. I don't really care if he did or didn't. But it quite clearly shows you the map, right? It quite clearly shows you his inscription, and it tells you of the peoples that he ruled over. Okay? And it was the whole of Arabia. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah? It's the whole of Arabia. So I want to call it, the Ethiopian Arabia. Let's call it what it is. Ethiopian Arabia that was ruled by a Christian king that was Christianizing the whole of Ethiopian Arabia with his new religion of Christianity that aligns so perfectly with what's written inside of the Quran. Did he authorize the Quran? That's my next question to drop. What do you guys think? Do you think that Abra authorized the Quran?
No.
Or commissioned the prophet to preach in the area?
No. But I do agree that the culture, background, tradition, all of that is from the same source. But Abraha, what could you show him being called a Negus?
Who?
Abraha.
Kalam, if you can.
No. Do you mean Prophet Muhammad or
No.
Abraha. No, Abraha.
That's known, bro. He's a well-known king, bro. He's big time Negus.
No, but the title Negus, is there a source that says he had that title, he bared that title Negus?
Ooh, yeah, we'll have to go into that. We'll have to go into the actual
then
title that
you
was
have
used.
a strong point. Then it's like, ooh, okay, I get you. But till then, he's like a governor, like in the Akan culture, you've got the king of kings, and then you've got that the sub kings that rule each towns, and he could be one of them for all I know.
So so that is correct, because there was the king of kings, which is the one that lived in Axum, or the Axum of Axum, which technically you could call the Negus. Cool. We've got him, all right? But then we also have Abraha, who was, even though he was a king, he was also a king of kings himself. Because remember, you have the kings of Kinda, you have the kings of Ma'ad, you have the kings of Hira, you have all those other kings. But for the whole of that area, he was the king of kings as well. Literally.
You gotta remember how powerful Axum was, though.
Yeah, no. He was subservient to Axum, but he still was the king of kings of the whole of Arabia.
So you see, when the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, told his companions to go to the Negus, you see that Negus and Abraha, who's higher in status?
So the question is, though, was it Abraha, that Negus that they sent him to, or the other Negus? That's really what I would love to know. Okay, but who
Isn't
would
that
be
Negus called Ashama or something like that, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But the one who is on the actual Ethiopian side, on the east of Africa, that one has superiority over Abraha.
Yeah.
Right,
that the one who the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, great grandmother related to, though? Because according to Monroe, I don't know if I'm saying his name properly, but he spoke of the Negus Seifu, if I'm pronouncing it properly. And his works was validated by the Ethiopians, that they even put that king in their king's list. So you know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I don't know if they did. I don't know if they did.
And Dul Yazin, there's a legend about him that was made around the 15th century that speaks about him at war with a Christian king called Saif as well. So who's this guy, basically?
Yeah.
I hear you though. You're making a point as well. You get me? It's all probabilities. You know what I'm saying?
What do you think of the Abraha story that he was going to conquer the Kaaba and they destroyed him and his army with elephants, or his army with
you know what?
With
yeah, Kalam brought up a good point the other day about the elephants. How could That's a good point. Like how did the elephants even arrive in Arabia? You know what I'm saying? That's actually a good point, but it's still all speculation. But it's a good point. You know what I mean? It's a very, very good point.
What are you saying? How could they get across the water?
The elephants, yeah.
Yeah. Why couldn't they?
I'm not saying Kalam's right or wrong. It's just a good
in the
point.
Americas, and you got elephants from Africa and the Americas, bro. Like,
you got elephants in America.
Yeah, the Olmecs, bro.
There's no elephants in America,
bro. Their inscriptions are going back to the Olmec time, and I think it's not the Aztec, but I think the Olmecs. They've got inscriptions.
Elephants is not indigenous to the Americas. You know that.
I
know.
Right? That's what I'm saying to you, bro. Because I'm saying the Olmecs then went there too. That's, bro. My whole point is,
you think the Olmecs are from Africa?
Yeah, well, they're black people. I know that much. But anyway, what my point is, it would not be hard. Hold on, bro. I'm saying it would not be hard when you look at what we were building back then to build rafts to sail across that little bit of water.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
That's not, bruv. You have to remember our ingeniousness back then, blood. What I want Kalam to do is a show on the Great Wall of Benin. you know, yeah?
I hear you.
You hear that, Kalam?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. But I wanted to jump on. I wanted to jump on what you said, yeah, because I love it because this author basically points out that there is divergent traditions. So in one sense, you have the traditions that I guess, let me say it like this, yeah. You have, no, I was going to use your words, you just say the pagan Sunni Senate. I don't even know whatever you just say in it. Like you just go.
Pagan infidel Kafir.
There you go. Those ones, yeah. And he sees that there is two pictures of this particular Abraha, yeah, which is highlighted here from the Arab Muslim traditions. Here it says, Arabic Muslim traditions present a different picture with many details giving to Abraham the standing of a great Arabian king, while others turn him into a presumptuous and sacrilegious king punished by God for having attacked the Temple of Mecca. Jumping down, the perversion of Abraha's image probably has its basis in the tradition of Mecca, transmitted by the theologians of Islam. Whilst the positive elements are obviously of South Arabian origin in Yemen, Abraha, whose name was included in the genealogies, was considered a legitimate king. So for my black African, black Yemeni, black South Arabian Muslims, they saw Abraha as the greatest king to ever live. In fact, they saw him as the greatest creature to have ever lived, full stop. Okay, and they don't hold on to this whole Abraha attacking no, let me not say that. I think it's highly doubtful that they held on to the image of Abraha attacking the Kaaba as their line of history, because they're divergent traditions where Abraha didn't attack it, full stop. It wasn't even Abraha who went to attack it. It was actually the Negus. That's another tradition that people don't know about. It wasn't Abraha, it was the Negus. There's another tradition that tells you that, Abraha had a conversation with the Meccans, certain chiefs of Quraysh, and then they made a deal, and then Abraha kept it moving. There was no attack, full stop. This is actually in the Sirah literature because it gives you two different accounts. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Are you basically saying that the Muslims didn't go Ethiopia?
No, that's something completely different.
No, was Abraha in Ethiopia?
Abra, yeah, but he was before. They're saying this was before that. So they're saying
Ethiopian, but was he in like the land of Ethiopia and Africa?
He was in Yemen, Arabia, bro. So they're saying that he literally had the elephants and they were planning to attack. They're also saying that Abraha stole the grandfather of the Prophet, peace upon him's camels.
Yeah, I heard all of that, but when Kalam said it could be the same king as the Najashi that for the first Hijra, that's what I'm trying to say. So is Kalam alluding to that Abraham once was in that land in modern day Ethiopia, like land of Kush, East Africa? Was he in that bit of the town as well?
If he's in Yemen, that's just across the water, bro. Like that's like not even a day's travel on boat. They're just rowing over there, bro. Like, have you seen that boat? They're just taking a little canoe and just let's go across the water, bro. Like, but Kalam, one thing before I forget,
What do you reckon,
I forgot.
Kalam? Kalam, what you reckon?
One step before I go there. Sorry, Kalam. Check this here. You know the verse 9-100, which talks about the Mahajrun and the Ansar. Do you know that verse?
Go on.
So basically, it's saying the first of the foremost from the Mahajrun, those who emigrated, and the Ansar, those who helped them. Right? So the Salafi Wahhabi Kafirs make sure that they distinguish that this emigration is from Mecca to Medina. Right? So remember, the first was Sabikuna Awalun, the first of the foremost, the greatest. Min al Mahajrin, the Mahajrin. So they're saying these are the best. Allah's promised them gardens under which rivers flow. Excluding who? The people that went from Mecca to Ethiopia. Do you see what I mean? That specifically in their stinking commentaries, they want to exclude.
Oh wow!
But in the Shia tab, what did they say? The first Hijrah was to Ethiopia.
Yeah, they got that.
Do they date it? Is their calendar dated from that time as well, or is it the Sunni Kafir you're saying?
What I suggest to you is in a lot of the history that the Shias had to rely on the Sunni for when it comes to history. So
I don't know why you're just cussing then. If they're using the same timeline.
Bruv, you're not listening to what I'm saying to you. If you personally don't have the history of something, we're not talking about timeline. We're talking about missing out. So I'll say it again. The Quran doesn't tell you where the emigration went from and to. It just says those who made the emigration and those who helped them. I'm saying with that verse.
By reading that verse if you're a Shia, by the way. But go on.
Bruv, there's no Shia. Islam or the Quran. Stop repeating Shia. Try and get that out your head. But anyway, back to what I was saying. The brother will annihilate you with any verse in the Quran. But anyway, back to what I was saying. When it talks about those who made Hijrah, whatever. Those who made Hijrah, those who emigrated, right? Did they not emigrate to Ethiopia? Yes, they did. So how is it they're missed out in this thing? How is it only these people, which they want to put as their people that usurp the Khalifa? Because that's who they want to put at the head of it. That goes with their own stories, etc., is what my point was. Because I'm saying, how could you exclude these people where they went to a king that helped them out? Why would they not be just as important? Does that make sense? Like these are the first fundamental followers.
Yep.
Why would they be excluded?
You'll find out. You find when you go into it and you read the politics of the time, and it shows you how they even destroyed records. I think it was somebody by the name of Uthman. It might be even Uthman ibn Uthman or something like that, or Aban. He wrote about, he was asked to write about the histories and so forth. This is like early. There was no Sirah literature. There was no Maghazi literature. The Umayyads asked him to write something. And then he was talking all about the Ansars and how they helped, and then they did all of this stuff and all of that, right? But those people, he said, "Now burn this. We don't want it," because there was so much politics that was going on where they were infighting with each other that you can't put certain people in good light because it will just look bad on us. So there's a lot of stuff that we are just missing in the history books because of the politics of the time. And it's sad, man. It's sad. And most people don't even know, according to Ibn Sa'd's Tabakat, there wasn't just one Hijri, but there was 2 Hijri to Abyssinia before there was even a Hijri to Medina. That's another thing that nobody don't talk about. Let me see if I can bring this up real quickly. So when you're talking about a Hijri, also let them know that there's a second Hijri too.
I thought that was accepted knowledge though, even amongst the Sunni pagans.
No, I don't ever hear anybody saying about 2 Hijris though.
So do you know about 2 Hijris, Isaq, to Ethiopia?
Yeah, from what I remember, bro, it's been a long time since I even went into that. That was my Sunni days.
So let me just quickly do it. Let me see if I could just put it up on the
Go
screen.
ahead.
So I'm not going to read it though, but there it is on Ibn Sa'd's Tabaka. I don't know. Can you not see it? No, you lot won't be able to see that. It's not going to come up clear.
Sa'd, he's not too long ago, right? He's just the other day.
Yeah, yeah. No. Ibn Sa'd,
I'm not saying anything. If anything, that's someone to use as well, you know.
Yeah, 800.
He's not an ancient scholar, isn't it?
No, he is 800s. So
800.
Yeah.
Okay.
Page 235. It says here accounts of the first hijrah of the companions of the Apostle of Allah. May Allah bless him to Abyssinia. And then page 239. Account of the second hijrah to Abyssinia. So, let them know that
What's
it was
the
actually,
book called? So I'll grab it as well.
So Ibn Sa'd's Kitab al-Tabakat al-Kabir.
Oh, Ibn Sa'di. What? Sa'di.
No, Sa'd. Volume 1, parts 1 and 2 is in here. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. So, anyways, I don't want to stay on too long. Just drop in some quick knowledge for you guys who actually enjoy this information. Let me see how many Kaabas. There were many Kaabas. Do so-called desert elephants need water or are they special breed? How do you think the Arabs are defending the Persians and the Byzantines? Okay, cool. Let's see. Any questions? Peace be upon you. Israel Hoyle. Cool. Yeah, I think that's it. So family, if you guys got anything else to say, the link has been shared. So we're going to be here for a little bit afterwards as well. So if you want to join in now or join in after the show is finished, come in because me, Isa and Akan is going to be here. Let me know and join us. But yeah.
So this facts over personality person. Do you also agree that elephants were taken across the Sahara at certain points? We have Hannibal and various others. So, the Sahara Desert is massive.
All right. But yeah, let me close out the show and then we're going to continue this conversation off air. A few people have emailed me for copies of the book. Okay, cool. All right, family, peace and love, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. We've got debates coming up later on, so stay tuned for that.